Record number of Americans have filed for unemployment benefits in the last week. That's as over 3 million lost their jobs. Since the outbreak of coronavirus, almost 30 million people in the US have signed on, and it's feared this number will keep soaring in the coming weeks. That's despite the government stumping up funds to help businesses retain staff. But the US Senate Majority Leader has questioned additional spending on benefits, pointing out that it would add to America's national debt.
Let's weigh this very carefully, because the future of our country in terms of the amount of debt that we're adding up is a matter of genuine concern.
What you're seeing is the worst collapse of capitalism in the United States since the Great Depression of the 1930s. In the United States and in most other countries, political leadership failed to prepare in the same way that they failed to prepare for the coronavirus. And so now we have two crises on top of one another, an unprepared for viral pandemic and an unprepared for capitalist downturn. Because the downturn is worse since it took 10, 11 years, and because we have this virus, it is an extreme collapse of capitalism, and no one at this point can tell you clearly how bad it will get or how long it will last.
The Federal Budget Committee shares US Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell's concerns over debt and has predicted that the national debt could potentially surpass post-World War II records. The US Treasury Secretary is adamant, though, that the Trump administration will spend whatever it takes. Economist Richard Wolff again says government is the only force that can solve the current crisis, but is being held back.
We now have somewhere between 27 and 30 million people unemployed. That is, by the way, a serious undercount. At this point, the only thing would be a massive intervention by the state, by the government, to try to fit. No other social force exists in the Western capitalist parts of the world, but probably anywhere other than the government. And here then is the problem. The government is controlled in the United States and in most other parts of the capitalist world by the private capitalist sector. And they don't want the government to take steps that threaten their control. So the government can't do